very much, Kristen. And thank you for taking your post-lunch time to be here today and quietly digest while we talk to you about our subject, which is the future of communities in the palm of your hands. And what we want to do is we want to talk today about what we see as a revolution. And we're not talking about the Che Guevara type revolution, but we are talking about is a technological revolution that impacts the way people live their lives on a day-to-day basis. And in particular, what we want to do is talk about how that technological revolution is going to change how we learn from consumers and gain insights from them in the future. So in particular, what I want to do is start with the punchline of our presentation, which is this, which is smartphones will become part of the new norm in research communities. That's a fairly bold statement, especially given the fact that smartphones are still an emerging technology. But what we want to do today is lay out for you why we so firmly believe that. So the first is what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this new dimension in research communities and talk a little bit about how we thought about these trends that we see emerging and how they resulted in what we've created, which is iCommunities Mobile, which is currently for iPhone and iPod Touch. The second is we're going to take a sneak peek. We're not going to just kind of talk about what smartphones are and how great they are. What we're going to do is we're going to take you in and show you a few case studies that we conducted in preparation for this conference and this presentation with 3 of our existing clients, and show you the sort of this new dimension emerging and what this app is enabling and providing this mobile extension to a community experience, what it can provide that's different than what we see today. And then finally what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what the future holds. It's a very exciting future, but we're going to talk about some of the implications in terms of methods, what it means for the respondent or the member experience, and then also momentum, this growth. Where does it kind of take us and where will things go? So that's essentially what we're going to be talking about today. But let's start at the beginning. So we've been in the community business for about 5 years now, a little over 5 years, and it's been really exciting to see how it has sort of changed from being a kind of a niche technique to really part of the core of how many corporations learn from consumers on a day-to-day basis. But in my role, one of the things that I should probably have a little plaque on my door or something that says, "What's next?" To me, that's what I think about every day. And as we started thinking about as a company, what's next for communities, we started to take a look at some trends. So the first one is smartphones. How many people here have a smartphone of some sort? Okay. So we're not obviously a representative population, but it's probably almost 100%, which is great. And as we take a look at what's going on in the industry, as we see what this trend is doing, the thing that I'm particularly passionate about is how technology affects how people live on a day-to-day basis. And we can take a look at numerous examples of different technologies that have just tremendously changed how we live on a day-to-day basis. TiVo's a great example. The internet clearly is one. And we certainly see smartphones as having the same sort of thing. So, some of the statistics that were up on the slide before we got started talked about sort of this rapid growth of smartphones and how rapidly the sales are emerging to the point where, and we'll talk about this a little later too, but by this time next year, smartphones will actually be the dominant type of phone that's being sold in the United States. So, when you take a look at what smartphones do in terms of how they affect their lives, people's lives, and the rapid rate at which they're growing, it made us take notice and made us think this is something we have to think about in terms of what it could mean for communities and what it could mean for research in general. The second thing is related to the topic of mobile social networking. So if you attended the Facebook presentation by Sean earlier this morning, he talked a lot about how Facebook can be used for research, but one of the other things that was really interesting is Facebook publishes a lot of statistics about their users and their members and things like that. And what we saw was over 100 million Facebook users participate in Facebook monthly from a mobile device. It's really 20%, or about 20% of all of their users. And so when we take a look at that number of 100 million, that's a huge number. It's not like a niche technique. It's not something that only a few people are doing. This is widespread, broad-based. People are just used to it. So that tells us that people are ready to kind of take a similar sort of look at how to participate in a research community, which does have clearly a social networking dimension to it, in terms of the community itself. So when we took a look at those two things, we said, boy, this is explosive technology. People are getting used to it. We really feel like mobile is the logical extension of the research community experience. And what we created was iCommunities Mobile, which is currently, as I said, for iPhone and iPod Touch. And basically what we're looking at it is, as I said, an extension to the traditional online research community experience to really take the community on the go with them. And so this little computer that's in their pocket can be used to help share their thoughts and opinions about what's going on in the particular community they're participating in, wherever they are. And that's what we began to create. So, the other thing is that, there's no point in developing technology just for technology's sake. Obviously, history is, full of examples of that sort of misguided approach. But what we did is we took a look at some of the things that, again, we can glean from the work that's being done in other realms, that this could really take what is great about communities and make them even better. So let me talk a little bit about those 3 points. The first is increased responsiveness. So if anybody has participated, watched any, or done any sort of research in the mobile space, or taken a look at some of the research that's done in the mobile space, one of the things that really jumps out at me is that mobile enables people to respond quickly. I remember participating in or listening to a webinar where they talked about a study where 90% of the sample was filled within an hour because people could just pick up the phone, they got the notification, and they participated. So clearly, mobile is a potential way of increasing responsiveness. And really, that's one of the things that's great about communities, right? You have these people there, they can respond, and they're ready to respond. Really, it's having this community in your pocket really can make that responsiveness happen even more quickly. The second one, and I think this is perhaps the most critical, is vivid real-time feedback. Now, we all know that communities do a really good job of that today because people are participating on a regular basis and they check in and they give their thoughts and that sort of thing. But what we thought about was, what if we could extend that so they didn't have to be in front of their computer? We're essentially saying, what if we could untether them from their computer and share what's on their mind in their community anytime? Well, we feel, and then the second piece of it is, what if we made it really, really easy for people to share multimedia? So photos, video, and pair that with their thoughts. We felt like this could be a great technology to essentially advance what research communities can bring to companies who are using them. And then finally, deeper engagement. One of the other statistics from Facebook is that not only are basically 100 million people a month participating in Facebook from a mobile device, but the statistics also show that those people are twice as active in Facebook as non-mobile users. So again, we look at this and say, gosh, this could really be an opportunity for people to have a deeper level of engagement, to participate more frequently, more freely. And again, as we talk about, it's potentially a way to take what's great about research communities and actually make them better. But one of the other things is sometimes there are these things like unintended consequences, right? Or as we began to create this app and we started thinking about what this could mean, we also kind of stumbled upon the thought that, well, why are smartphones so popular? It's because people are more on the go. They want to be connected. These connected devices allow them to interact with their world online all the time. So obviously we felt like research communities should be as well. But one of the things we started thinking about is that it also provided a way for, again, for research to fit into consumers' lives in a different way. It wasn't going to be just, I'm sitting at my computer, I get an email for an activity in a community, and I go into the community and do it. It's, I can be on the go. I can participate wherever I am, whatever I'm doing. And then also, as Catherine's going to talk about, it enables a whole type of new realm of activities to be participated in. So we'll talk more about that later. But again, this idea of making research fit consumers' lifestyles also begins to address some of the issues we know about people not being interested in responding, or limiting the types of people who are actually engaging in the communities themselves. So as we started packaging this up for potential new members and people who were downloading the app from maybe the iTunes store, we also realized that it was a new way for us to talk to consumers about what research is about and why they should be interested. So I'm going to put this little video on. This is actually a video that's embedded in the app, so even before someone signs up or decides to participate, they can get a sense of what we're looking to do. And I get the pleasure of listening to my own recorded voice, which is never fun, but here we go. consumers in new ways. Sure, every once in a while we may invite you to a focus group or a shopping exercise. But what we really want is for you to share your insights, your ideas, and the way you think about products on your timeline and when you're inspired. Quite simply, we want our research to fit your lifestyle. That's why we've created iCommunities Mobile, the app that pays you back. With iCommunities Mobile, you can participate in socially interactive research communities that let you earn rewards for your opinions. Our proprietary community, Consumer Village, has over 20,000 active members. We also have targeted communities on a wide variety of subjects sponsored by Fortune 500 companies. With iCommunities Mobile, you'll be able to share what's on your mind with other consumers. Take polls, surveys, and start your own discussions. Tokens with each sponsored activity, then transfer into Amazon.com gift cards. And shape how Fortune 500 companies develop and market products for the future. Plus, with a 5% match on all tokens earned at Consumer Village donated to charity, sharing your opinions can also help make the world a better place. Want to get started? Simply enter your existing login information, or if you're a new user, fill in a few fields of information, and you're on your way. So, despite the unintended flicker of the video, we just want to kind of show you a little bit about sort of how we're kind of positioning this with consumers and what we think, it can mean for them. So what we wanted to do is, we have a proprietary community which is referred to in the videos called Consumer Village. It has over 20,000 active members. It's intended to be a representative population of the U.S. online population. And what we did is we created a sub-community within Consumer Village, which we call Consumer Village Airways. And essentially what we did is we, as people joined and downloaded the app, they were automatically given this capability or this role where they were given access to this new sub-community, which we then began to use as a preparation for this particular event. And as going forward, what we're looking to do is as we continue to add more and more members, what we'll do is we'll be able to have more capability of doing different types of mobile-specific types of activities, again, all within a community.